Hi everyone, welcome back to CLAT Funda. CLAT Funda is an initiative by Institute of Law, Nirma University to help guide the students crack CLAT. I am Arpita and I will walk you through legal reasoning part of the exam. Before you watch this video, make sure you watch the previous videos for better understanding of the new pattern. Let's begin. Hello students, welcome to CLAT Funda. I hope you all are studying and preparing for your exam. Since we do not have much time left for CLAT, let's quickly revise important case laws, recent legal developments, and important amendments in law. At the end of this video, we will discuss some sample questions along with their answers. Let's quickly go through some important cases of 2019. The first, one of the most important cases that came in 2019 was the CJI sexual harassment case. CJI stands for Chief Justice of India. In this case, one of the ex-Supreme Court staff wrote a letter to 22 Supreme Court judges and alleged in front of the media that the then Supreme Court Chief Justice, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi, have sexually harassed her. To this allegation, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi replied that this charge is fabricated. It is a conspiracy to undermine the independence of judiciary. To inquire about the same, the Supreme Court set up an inquiry committee headed by Justice A.K. Patnaik to look into the matter of conspiracy. And for the charges of sexual harassment, an in-house inquiry panel was set up. Clean chit was given to the CJI. This case was highly criticized because the report of the panels were not disclosed to public. The inquiry drew flack for being opaque and unfair. The next case is probably one of the most important judgments of the decade, if not the century. This case had been going on for 70 years and was finally decided on 9th November 2019. Yes, you guessed it right. It is the Babri Masjid case. The name of this case is Mohammad Siddiqui versus Mahant Suresh Das. The Supreme Court unanimously held that the entire disputed land of 2.77 acres in Ayodhya must be handed over for construction of Ram Mandir. Using its power under Article 142, the Supreme Court also held that an alternate plot of 5 acres must be allotted to Sunni Waqf Board for the construction of a mosque. At this point, you all should know what Article 142 is. Article 142 provides discretionary power to the Supreme Court. It states that in exercise of jurisdiction, court may pass such decree or make such order as is necessary for doing complete justice in any case or matter pending before it. The court also observed that the destruction of Babri Mosque in 1992 was a violation of law. The act of placing idols beneath the central dome of the mosque in 1949 was an act of desecration. The third case that we are going to deal with relates to right to freedom of trade and profession. The name of the case is Indian Hotel and Restaurant Association AHAR versus State of Maharashtra. This is popularly known as dance bar case. A complete ban was imposed on dance bars across Maharashtra via Maharashtra Prohibition of Obscenity Dance in Hotel, Restaurants and Bar Rooms and Protection of Dignity of Women, Act of 2016. A complete ban was imposed on dance bars across Maharashtra via the Act of 2016. This case was filed to lift the ban. Supreme Court in this case held that there cannot be total prohibition of dance bars in Maharashtra. Also, the complete prohibition on serving alcohol was also removed. The rule which mandated that such dance bars should not be there in the vicinity of 1 kilometer from any educational institutions or religious institution was also relaxed. This was done in keeping in mind the freedom of trade and commerce. Article 19(1)(g) of the Constitution of India provides the right to practice any profession or to carry out any occupation, trade, or business to all the citizens. In this case, the provision for installing CCTV cameras inside the dance bars were also held to be violative of right to privacy. Although CCTV cameras could be installed at the entrance of such dance bars, showering of currency notes is still prohibited. The next case is Indemnity Creative Private Limited versus Government of West Bengal. In this case, the Government of West Bengal had imposed an unofficial ban on the feature film called Bhavishyotter Bhoot. Citing law and order issues, police authorities has also forced the movie screens to withdraw the film. Do you know which article of the Constitution of India deals with freedom of speech and expression? Yes, it's Article 19(1)(a). Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice Hemant Gupta held that free speech cannot be curtailed by a fear of mob violence. The Supreme Court also held that in a free society, the police are not self-appointed guardians of public morality. The uniform authority of their force is subject to the rule of law. The Supreme Court not only lifted the ban on the movie, but also provided 20 lakh compensation to the makers of the movie. In the next case, Central Public Information Officer versus Subhash Chandra Agrawal, the Supreme Court held that the office of CJI, Chief Justice of India, falls under the right to information. The judges held that the information related to the basis on which appointment and selection of judges is done should be kept in public domain. But the court also underlined the importance of maintaining confidentiality in aspects of judicial administration. The next case, Kantaru Rajivaru versus Indian Young Lawyers Association review case, is dealing with the issue of essential religious practices. Justice Indu Malhotra expressed that the issue whether court can interfere in the religious practices needed examination by a larger bench. Justice Chandrachud and Justice Nariman dissented. Indian Young Lawyers Association versus State of Kerala was the original case, which was filed in 2006 and the judgment was delivered in 2018. In this case, entry of women of all ages were allowed in Sabrimala temple. Indian Young Lawyers Association versus State of Kerala was the original case, which was filed in 2006 and the judgment was delivered in 2018. In this case, the entry of women of all ages were allowed in the Sabrimala temple. In the present case, the issue is whether Supreme Court can interfere in essential religious practices of any denomination or not. To resolve the matter in this case, the case has been referred to a larger bench. Justice Nariman also held that most of these issues are already dealt by the Supreme Court in 2018. Justice Nariman also said, "Let every person remember that the holy book is the Constitution of India." The next important case of 2019 is the case of Anokhi Lal versus State of Madhya Pradesh. In this case, the Supreme Court issued guidelines for the trial of serious offences. Serious offences are those offences which are punishable with life sentence or death. The Supreme Court held that the trial of accused in such cases should be done by a lawyer who has completed minimum 10 years of practice in court. Another case which deals with the right to information is the case of DAV College Trust and Management Society versus Director of Public Instruction. In this case, the Supreme Court has held that the NGOs which are substantially financed whether directly or indirectly by the government fall within the ambit of public authority defined under Section 2H of RTI Act 2005. This means that in any NGOs which takes funds from the government, whether directly or indirectly, will come under the ambit of public authority and eventually under the Right to Information Act. The next case, Nagma Shireen versus State of Kerala. The right to internet has been held to be a part of right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. This means that the right to internet has been held to be a fundamental right under the Constitution of India. Now, let's quickly go through the latest amendments done in the Constitution of India. Starting with the 101st Constitutional Amendment. This amendment was done to introduce GST, Goods and Services Tax. Article 246A was added in the Constitution via this amendment. Next, 102nd Amendment introduced National Commission for Backward Classes via Article 338B. Article 338 provides for National Commission for Scheduled Caste and 338A provides for National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Article 338 will provide for National Commission for Backward Classes. 103rd Constitutional Amendment provide for reservation for economically weaker sections with the maximum cap of 10%. The latest amendment that has been done in the Constitution of India is the 104th Constitutional Amendment. This amendment extended for 10 years the reservation provided for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in Lok Sabha and in state assemblies. Do revise these case laws and these amendments. And now, further moving to the reading passage, let's read the passage and solve the questions. Moving on to the reading passage. The coronavirus pandemic or COVID-19 has forced millions of people to stay at their homes over the past 2 months. It has created havoc in the economy and on the health system. The lockdown has forced millions of people to work from home. Under the lockdown, many courts have taken steps so that the court proceedings should not come to a standstill and is least affected by the lockdown. Among all these situations, conducting court proceeding with the help of a video conferencing app has emerged as a highly favored measure. However, the court proceedings on the Zoom app are highly unsafe. This has brought to light various privacy issues that plague video conferencing operations. Multiple courts, including Bombay High Court, Gujarat High Court, Kerala High Court, have chosen the Zoom video conferencing app for conducting their proceedings. Some of the courts have made proceedings open to the public without any password protection or any security steps. Security experts around the world have described Zoom as a privacy disaster, even as a company saw 35% increase in page traffic on the downloading page. Currently, there is no comprehensive data protection that has come into force in India. Zoom's privacy policy mentions complying with the legal obligations such as detecting, investigating, stopping fraudulent, harmful, unauthorized, or illegal activity. It also states that data may be disclosed while responding to a valid legal process, including jurisdiction. It informs us that its policies regarding compliance with a valid legal process preclude cooperation where a government does not have jurisdiction. It may also disclose data where it is reasonably necessary to preserve its legal rights. Home Ministry itself had earlier issued an advisory stating that Zoom was unsafe, vulnerable to cyber attacks. Not only for government offices, but the ministry also advised private users not use the Zoom app as it is highly unsecure. Many countries have taken action against Zoom app. After multiple incidents, the Taiwanese government has banned the use of Zoom app for official purposes. Singapore has also banned, and similar strict action were taken from multiple countries including the USA and Germany. There are many other safe and reputed video conferencing apps to conduct proceedings rather than to use Zoom for such purpose. Apps such as Microsoft Teams, Google Hangout, Cisco WebEx, and many other can be used in place of Zoom. While some of the other applications need a fee or subscription for its usage, some more trusted alternatives to Zoom should be used. Our honorable courts should take this into account and should be a bit more serious about cyber security issues. Reading such a big passage should not take you more than 1.5 to 2 minutes. Now coming to the questions. The first question is, virtual court proceedings have caused the problem of. Now it's a pretty straightforward question and you should not even look back to the passage to answer such question. Let's read the options. Improper trial of cases, accused is exempted from personal appearance, privacy issues, all of the above. Generally, if you go for all of the above in such a case, this would not be correct here. The best answer for this is privacy issues. The article is talking about Zoom app and the security issues relating to it. There is no mention of improper trial of cases. There is no mention that the accused is exempted from personal appearance, although he would be, but there is no mention of such thing in the passage. The only valid option is the privacy issues. So the answer is C. Coming to the next question, what alternative should be adopted by the courts to protect its privacy? The options are, court should not allow video conferencing. Now again, remember one thing, you should answer the question in the tone of the passage given to you. You should know what are the author's view and you should answer according to the author's view and not according to your own view. So if you think that the alternative should be that the court should not allow video conferencing at all, should not be you should not choose that option because the author's views might be different from your view. The option B says court should use other safe and reputed video conferencing app. Now this line is mentioned in the passage itself, so this could be our right answer. The option C is court proceedings should stop during this pandemic. Court proceedings shouldn't stop during this pandemic. This is what the author is also saying. The court proceedings should continue but with bit of care and caution. The last option is all of the above. So this is also a very straightforward question and the answer is B. Question number 3 says, security experts around the world have described Zoom app as. The first option is privacy disaster. The second option is privacy protector. Third option is useful for video conferencing. Last option is none of the above. The answer is very straightforward and clear. It is option A. The security experts around the world have described Zoom app as privacy disaster. The last question is, which ministry has issued an advisory with respect to use of Zoom app? This also is a very straight question. If you read the passage carefully, you will know the answer and you will not have to look back in the passage again. The answer is Home Ministry. You do not have to read the entire options in such a case where you know the answer for sure. Keep reading newspapers, blogs to stay updated on the legal news and keep practicing such questions. Try to make your own questions from the passages. That way you will know how a question is made and what kind of answer it is looking for. There is no dearth of study material or sample questions on the internet. Look for those, practice those and keep practicing till the exam. The best way to clear CLAT is by staying focused on your goal and keep practicing. I hope you found this video helpful. For more such videos in the series, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. All the best.